What's up, podcaster? It's Ben here from Podcast Pros with a podcast hosting comparison. And today we're comparing Transistor to Podbean. So if you've been debating between these two podcast hosting options, this video will help you make the right choice for you and your show. And once you've made that choice, there are links for free trials for both Podbean and Transistor in the description box and pinned comment of this video. We're gonna compare these hosts based on three categories. The first being features, second being price, and third being ease of use to help you make the most informed decision. So let's get right into it. So let's start off with features. When it comes to Transistor, the biggest feature that stands out in my mind is the fact that you can have unlimited podcasts on one Transistor plan, meaning that you can have more than one show, but you don't have to pay for more than one plan. So if you're planning on experimenting with a few different shows, Transistor automatically is a great possible option. With that being said though, Transistor does charge based on monthly downloads, and that would be across all shows that are attached to the plan. And their cheapest plan will give you 15,000 monthly downloads. And any show attached to that account will count toward that monthly download number. So keep that in mind. The more shows that you have, the more likely you are that you're gonna have to move up to more expensive tiers. They offer an embeddable podcast player, which makes it very easy to embed podcast episodes onto your website. All plans come with a built-in podcast website, and each plan also comes with advanced analytics, even at its cheapest tier. Their starter plan also allows for 2 show managers, meaning that you and somebody else can both simultaneously manage the show or shows while only paying for one Transistor account. Transistor also gives you the option and capability for private podcasting on their more expensive plans. And this is fantastic for internal podcasts. A lot of businesses are moving this way to communicate with all their employees at once. And there's other various use cases for private podcasting. So Transistor gives you that option if you upgrade to the more expensive plans. And that's massive for some people. They really want that capability to have that private show. All Transistor accounts come with unlimited storage and bandwidth, meaning that you can upload as much as you want per month, and you will only get charged based on the monthly downloads that your shows are experiencing on a monthly basis. Transistor also integrates with MailChimp, ConvertKit, and Drip, which are some of the best email service providers. So this makes it a super easy way to connect with your audience, capture emails, and then nurture that relationship in a different way. So those are all of Transistor's core features, and they may not have as many features as some of the other podcast hosting options out there, but a few of the features that they do have really allows them to stand out. And that would be the unlimited podcasts on one plan, as well as the opportunity to have a private podcast. Those are 2 features that a lot of people are really looking for and allows Transistor to stand out. And that's the primary reason as to why we scored them pretty highly in the features category, giving them an 8 out of 10. Moving on to pricing. So Transistor does have a few different plans based on your unique needs. And like we said earlier, if you use the link in the description box or the pinned comment, you can get yourself a free 14-day trial to try out their service. And obviously, we're huge fans of the opportunity to try out the service before you have to commit to paying for it. But with that being said, their cheapest pricing option is substantially higher than most of the other podcast hosts out there. But what you have to keep in mind is that does give you the opportunity to have more than one show with one account. So that has to come into play when you're thinking about paying for this. And that's why it may be expensive for you if you're only gonna have one show, but if you're gonna have multiple, it may actually be a really good deal. Plus, the private podcasting feature is limited to their more expensive plans. So if you want that, you're gonna have to pay a premium. So with all that being said, we graded Transistor's pricing a 7 out of 10. Still a solid score, but we viewed it through the lens of someone hosting one show. If you're just doing that, it is slightly on the higher or more expensive side, especially if you had one show and you wanted it to be private. But all in all, their plans are still pretty affordable for what you're getting, so they get a 7 out of 10 for price. So now moving on to ease of use. As we mentioned in the features category, there's not a ton there. They're not throwing a ton of features at you. And with that comes some benefits because the process of using Transistor is very simple and very streamlined. Getting your show up and running, even multiple shows, is very easy to do and very user-friendly. And this is one of their core focuses as a business. They want to make it as easy as possible for you to run one show or multiple. And for that reason, Transistor scored an 8 out of 10 when it comes to ease of use. So if you're keeping track, Transistor scores a 23 out of a possible 30. So it is a fantastic and easy to use podcast hosting option that may be perfect for you if a few of their unique features meet your needs. So let's get right into it and start off with features. And this is definitely going to be the longest category because Podbean gives you a ton of features to play with. Podbean's been in the podcast hosting space for over 10 years now. So they are one of the original and trusted names within podcast hosting. They also have their own mobile podcasting app and player with a ton of users. All of Podbean's plans come with podcast stats. All plans also include a podcast website, but something that's specific to Podbean is that they give you full access to change the code to really customize the design of your website. And on that website, on their paid plans, you can actually integrate your own domain. So if you own a domain name for your show or for your business, you can use that on the podcast's website. They also offer custom episode publishing and the ability to schedule episodes to go live at a later date. You can also manage and publish podcast episodes all from your mobile device. Podbean also offers an embeddable podcast player, which makes it very easy to embed specific episodes onto your website. And they also have an integration with MailChimp, which makes it very easy to capture emails to then later use for email marketing. You can also use their mobile app to create your own podcast, and you can edit all the audio and capture all the audio within the app. For podcasters looking to monetize their show, Podbean gives you a ton of ways to do this. They provide a Patreon program, which makes it very easy for you to sign up your listeners as patrons to contribute to your show every single month. You can sell access to your show through subscription, but you can get even deeper than that and charge for specific episodes. They also have an ads marketplace, which makes it very easy to connect with sponsors and get them to run ads on your show. Podbean also gives you the ability to live stream your episodes, and your guest hosts can call in live. And with these live streams, you can even sell tickets to your listeners to grant them access to this live stream. And you also have the ability to receive virtual gifts from your listeners when they're listening to the live stream. Podbean is also one of the few hosts that allows for video podcasts. So if you're looking to incorporate video, Podbean can do that. They also offer a business plan for podcast networks or larger businesses. So regardless of who you are, there's definitely an option for you on Podbean. So those are all of Podbean's core features. And as you can see, they give you a ton to work with. So naturally, they scored very well within this category. We gave them a 9 out of 10 when it comes to features. They give you so much to work with. If you want to do something with your podcast, you probably can with Podbean. So now moving on to pricing. Because Podbean has so many features, they split up the access to these features depending on which tier or which plan you opt for. They do have a completely free option, which gives you 5 hours of total storage and 100 gigabytes of monthly bandwidth. With the free option though, a lot of the cool features that make Podbean so compelling aren't included. So you're probably going to opt for a paid plan. Their paid plans start off very affordable at $9 per month when paid yearly and $14 when paid monthly. And they move up in price depending which features you want access to. If you use the link down below and head over to Podbean's pricing page, you'll see how their different tiers are structured and which features come with which plan. That'll make it very easy for you to see which plan that you have to go for to get the features that you really want. Podbean also scored very well in this category because we love the fact that they have a completely free plan, and even their paid plans are very affordable for the value that you get out of them. And that's why we gave them an 8 out of 10 when it comes to price. So now moving on to ease of use. As mentioned earlier in the features category, there is a ton to work with here. So naturally, those are all things that you're going to have to learn. And some of the more complex features, there's a more of a steeper learning curve to really get the most out of them. So they do give you a ton to work with, but for some people, it may almost be too much and a little overwhelming. They do give you a ton of support, and because Podbean's been around for a long time and they are a very popular host, there is a ton of resources on Podbean's website and on YouTube and blogs, etc. But there is a bit of a learning curve compared to some of the other podcast hosting options, but it is a necessary evil to have all these different features that Podbean gives you. So that definitely shouldn't scare you away because all of their features are very approachable, but naturally they're gonna take a little more time to learn because you have so much more to play with. And that's why we scored Podbean an 8 out of 10 when it comes to ease of use, because they give you so many features. They're not the plug and play, very simple solution that some of the other hosts are, but naturally that comes with having all of these advanced features. So they give you a ton to work with, but obviously you're gonna have to spend a little bit of time figuring out how to use them to maximize your use of Podbean. Overall, across all three categories, we scored Podbean a 25 out of a possible 30 points. We are massive fans of Podbean and all that they offer to podcasters. So as I mentioned before, there are links for free trials for both Transistor and Podbean in the description box and pinned comment. So go ahead and use those links to get yourself a free trial of whatever one you choose. Full disclosure, those links are affiliate links, so if you do end up using them and sign up for a paid plan, the channel will earn a small commission for you doing so at no extra expense to you. So we appreciate the support in advance. And after watching this comparison, I want to hear from you. Are you going to host your show with Podbean or Transistor? Let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click subscribe for more podcasted related content to help you run your show like a pro. I'll see you in the next one, and happy podcasting.